Hi, my friend.
Hi, Andrea.
Okay, so I see you have sent me the essay.
Yes, by WhatsApp.
That's good. That's great. I'm gonna check. Okay. So today we'll be looking at how to write. The steps that we need to follow to write an argumentative essay, and yeah, what you need to have in each paragraph, in each part of the argumentative essay. So that's what we're gonna be doing today, and we're also gonna be writing. Well, I don't know if we're gonna write a essay. We're gonna write at least one introduction, one body paragraph, and one conclusion, so that we can see. Okay, so do you have any questions before we get started?
No.
Okay. Remember that we've said in an argumentative essay, which is a type of essay in which the author is trying to convince the reader of something. So the author is trying to persuade the reader on his point of view on a certain matter. You need to have three basic things. So you need an introduction in which you're gonna state what your position is, maybe summarize a bit. Then you need the body of the essay, which are your body paragraphs, in which you're going to provide evidence and reasons and arguments supporting your view. And then you need a conclusion in which you're going to summarize everything again and maybe present something for future thought. But basically, those are the three things: introduction, body, and conclusion.
And how many sentences does a conclusion have?
It's not the number of sentences. It has like three basic elements or two basic elements.
Oh, okay.
You can write more than one sentence for each one, or maybe just one, but it will be too little, I would say. So we're gonna be looking at the elements of each part, not the sentences.
Okay.
So in the introduction, we were kind of looking at this yesterday, but now we're gonna see it in more depth. So in the introduction, first thing we said we needed was the basic things are obviously gonna be your thesis statement, which basically means your position on the topic, right? Or your opinion. That's the basic thing that you need. Now, of course, there are more things that you can do to make a better introduction. So remember that we said the first sentence is usually the hook. So the hook is the sentence that tries to capture the reader's attention, try to make the reader read more. So that could be your first sentence. Now, I think yesterday we were kind of seeing more of a different type of essay. The thing is, essays have different, you can write an essay for many different things. Now, as we were saying, an essay could be also considered like literally like a literal work, so maybe a work of literature. But if we're working on an academic essay, then it doesn't need to be that interesting or creative or anything. It just needs to be, objective, strong-armed, and of course, well-written. So we're not gonna be looking at the literacy part. So in the first sentence, for example, in this introduction here it's about the use of the internet in academic world. So it says the spread of the internet has had a world-changing effect, not least on the world of education. So as you can see in this sentence, the reader is basically kind of telling you why this is important, what the essay is important. So it's kind of exaggerating. So it has had a world-changing effect. That's a hyperbole. It's kind of an exaggeration, not least on the world of education. And that's also kind of giving you context on what the essay is about. So it's about the effect of the internet upon education.
Mhm.
So in the first sentence, you're just trying to show what the reader, what the essay is going to be about, and also capture the reader's interest. So what's the effect of the internet in the world of education? Now you can also provide a bit of background. So basically acknowledge what this is about or what has been happening around this topic, or I don't know, something related to the topic. Here you can also sometimes provide definitions. So for example, if it's an essay on a more complicated topic, like maybe something on, I don't know, maybe you're trying to discuss who first created calculus. So that's a complicated issue, something that maybe people don't know what calculus is. So maybe in that case, you can define what the topic is about. So you can also kind of acknowledge that it's an issue that needs to be treated. So for example, here the author is saying, the use of the internet in academic context is on the rise. So it's something that's growing and growing, and its role in learning is hotly debated. So this is very common. I think I was mentioning this. To have one of those phrases, like this is, I don't know, a controversial issue, a debatable topic, I don't know, something like that. So you're kind of showing the importance. Now, for many teachers who did not grow up with this technology, its effects seem alarming and potentially harmful. So you're giving context on the problem here. The problem is that teachers find the internet as something harmful. That's the problem. And then the author is stating the thesis statement. So you can provide background, you can raise an issue or acknowledge what the problem is. So in this essay, what the author is trying to do is trying to show you that the internet is not such a bad thing for education, like many people think. So the problem here is that people think that the effects of the internet in education is alarming and harmful. That's the problem for the author. And then he's stating his position. So this is a thesis statement. So he's saying this concern, while understandable, so even though it's understandable that teachers feel this way, is misguided. So this is his position. All of that. He's saying, I don't agree with teachers that think that the internet is a bad thing. So this concern is misguided. The negatives of the internet use are outweighed by its theoretical benefits for students and educators as a uniquely comprehensive and accessible information source, as means of exposure to an engagement with different perspectives, and as a highly flexible learning environment. So here, what he's doing is telling you once again his position. So basically, the benefits outweigh the shortcomings or the negatives. So the negatives of the internet are outweighed by the benefits. And then in the final part, he's summarizing the structure of the body. So these are going to be his reasons, right? He's going to say first, it's an information source. Second, it's a means of exposure and engagement. So it makes the students more engaged. And third, it makes education more flexible, I guess. So those are the elements of this introduction. First, he has the hook. Then he has the context, the background. Then the thesis statement. And then the summary of the body paragraphs. So the summary of the reasons that he's going to present. Okay. So you see how this is?
The introduction.
Yeah. This okay? Any questions?
So all these parts is just for how can I say? What did you say for essay that? No, not for the kind that you asked me to write, right? right? It's for a different.
I mean, yes, for the type that I asked you, no, because I asked you to write an argumentative essay. So you needed to tell me what your opinion was on that.
Uh-huh.
The essay that you wrote was basically, do you think their life is easier than the ones,
Mm.
right? This was the question.
Okay.
And you needed to tell me your opinion on this matter. So you needed to say, first you needed to, okay, remember, we're not looking, I'm not gonna be evaluating context. So don't worry about, I'm sorry, content. Don't worry about the content of it. So it doesn't have to have this. I'm just gonna be looking at grammar.
Uh-huh.
In the one that I'm gonna assign you probably today, I will evaluate content. Okay, but in your intro, for example, basically, maybe we can do
And
this.
what kind of essay are you gonna send me today?
An argumentative essay. We're only gonna be writing argumentative essays.
Okay.
So, okay. So any questions so far about the introduction?
No, yes. Can you explain me again the race and issue,
Yes, of course.
please?
You need this one here.
And the thesis statement, please.
Okay, sure. So when I say raise an issue or ask a question, so this is what the other author did, right? The other author was like, does it affect a kid to grow up with only one parent, right? So you can raise the issue. You're basically kind of raising a question. You're telling me what you're going to be answering. In this case, for example, this author is saying, okay, so for many teachers, the effects of the internet are alarming and harmful. So that's the problem for the author, because the author doesn't think this way. The author thinks that they are not alarming and they're not harmful. They're actually beneficial. So this is the problem, you know, that he's trying to solve, that he's trying to counterclaim, to kind of oppose. So for many teachers, its effects seem alarming and potentially harmful. However, they are not.
What? You don't specify what.
The
I know
internet, you mean?
no, here, its effects seems alarming and potentially harmful, but in this sentence you don't mention.
Why?
No,
Or you don't mention what?
the the principal point about
Right, because it's not
what
the
is
thesis
alarming and
statement.
what is potentially harmful.
I don't know. I don't get what you mean. So you mean what is potentially harmful or
Yeah.
why?
Yes.
What or why?
What?
What? So it's the internet, right? So its effects here, it's referring to the internet's effects.
Okay.
Because they are not mentioning, he's using a pronoun because he already mentioned it, right? He said the use of the internet in academic context is on the rise, and its role in learning is hotly debated. So this is the context, right? He's saying, all right, this topic is important, is something that's been going on for some time, and is something that's being debated all over the world. So that's the context, the background. You can say, you know, this topic is of paramount importance for this reason, because it's something that's happening right now, right? It's on the rise, maybe because of the pandemic, maybe because technology is increasing, whatever. So this is the context, what's happening with the topic.
So provide a background is like summarizing all the things that could help.
No, not at all. Provide background is like what this topic is or why it's important. In this case, the author is explaining why this topic is important. He's saying this topic is important because it's something that's happening right now. It's on the rise. It's increasing with time. And their role in learning is something debated. So that's why we're going to debate this, because it's something it's an issue that's been going on for some time. So when I say provide background, you can give a definition, explain importance, or how it is, right now. So why it's important to write an essay on this. In this part in yellow, another way of putting this would be a question, what the other author did. So you could say, so I don't know. Are teachers right when they think the internet is harmful and alarming? So that could be a question. Or you could just say, what is the actual impact of the internet in educational settings? And then you answer the question, right? You say the negatives of the internet are outweighed by the critical benefits. So in this sentence here in yellow, he's raising the issue. So he's saying what he's going to counteract. So the problem is that many teachers think that the internet is something wrong, something that's negative for students, right? So that's the issue, that's the problem. I think the other author did that too. Let me see. I don't know where it is though. Oh, I think we copied and pasted. Didn't we? So it must be there. Hold on. So in this other essay that we were seeing yesterday, the author was like here. The author was saying, where is it? Here, for example, this is the problem, right? That children growing up in a single parent family have been viewed as different. That's the problem that he's going to refute, right? He's going to say, even though these children are seen as different, they are not. They could be just as successful and just as stable as any other child, So that's the problem, that they are viewed as different. And that's what he's trying to solve with this essay, right? The problem lies in the difference of children raised by single parents versus children raised by both mother and father. And then he's asking the question, so does a child need both parents? Does a young boy need a father figure around? So that's raising the question or acknowledging what the problem is.
Okay.
And then the thesis statement is the author's opinion. So he's answering the problem or the question that he just raised. So he's saying, this concern is misguided. The negatives are way more than the positives. I'm sorry, no, the positives are way more than the negatives, right? So the negatives are outweighed by the benefits. That's his position. In this case, we had here, right? What people must understand is that properly raising a child does not rely on the structure of a family, but should be more focused on the values. So that was the author's position.
Yes.
Right? So he asks the question, he raises the problem, and then he answers the question or he addresses the problem. Okay. And then you can have this summary of the reasons. So he's saying, okay, this is my beliefs, and that's supported by these reasons that I'm going to be explaining in this essay. So you can do this or you cannot. That's why I said you can summarize the structure, or you can just use a transitional phrase and be like, so the negatives of the internet are outweighed by the critical benefits, and that's it. And then you can say, for the reasons that will be explored in this essay, or I will discuss this idea during this following essay. So you can summarize them, or you can have that transitional phrase. Right here, he summarized it too. I think these are the reasons or the topics that he's gonna refer to. So emotional stability, social skills, I guess, and behavioral skills. So maybe the first body paragraph will be to talk about children's emotions. The second for social skills and behavioral skills. And here the same, right? The first body paragraph is going to be for the internet as a source of information. The second will be for the internet as a way to engage, to make students more engaged. And the third one about the flexibility that internet gives education.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we always have to put these things that we're gonna talk in the next paragraphs.
Not really.
Okay.
It depends. Usually, if your essay is longer than 5 paragraphs, you can summarize it because it's gonna give a sense of order, a sense of structure. It's gonna make it look more organized, help the reader understand what paragraph refers to what. But if it's shorter, I would say it's not necessary because first thing you're gonna repeat, maybe you're gonna kind of run out of words to say it. And in the conclusion, you're gonna have to summarize it too, so it'll be too much. So it depends on how long your essay is.
Okay.
Okay. So let's write an introduction. You're gonna write one. We're gonna do it together. So let's do one for this here, the one that you did. So you can maybe help you out with the essay you had, and I have it here. Okay, well, let's think about it. So what do you think could be the first sentence, the hook for this essay?
I'm not sure in this kind of essays. Well, I'm not sure if my essay was a little bit informal because to capture the reader's interest, I talk about my grandmother.
Okay, that's okay though. Your essay maybe was a bit more personal, but that's fine. Okay, I'll check that. But how would you do it in this type of essay? So a bit more formal.
A little formal. Okay. Uh, probably oh, okay.
So, one thing that you can do is think about the topic of this essay, right? Think about, in this case, the general topic without getting into details would be just life, how life is or how lifestyles are. So, okay, so you can say something about that. You can say something about life in general, the way that here the author is doing, right? The author is talking about the spread of the internet in general. So what can you say about life?
Nowadays, people.
Okay.
People have different opportunities to succeed.
Okay.
Nowadays, people have different opportunities to succeed. Okay. To succeed. I started with the use. No, I think that, I mean, I'm not sure if I have to put this here. Starting with the use of technology to help them to help them achieve what they want.
Okay. So this is right, but I think you're focusing on one of the points of the essay, right? Right now you're focusing on life right now and why it's easy, right? So you're kind of giving me an argument already. You're kind of orienting your essay towards one side.
Okay.
So nowadays people have different. First thing you're talking about life now, which is one part of the essay, right? Because it always has two sides. It's a debatable topic always. So is it easier or is it not? Now and before. So here you're talking about now and why it's easy, right? You're being very specific, technology and stuff.
So here I don't have to be specific.
No, let's just be general about life. So you could say something like, try to think of life as like without a time. So you could say, I don't know, no matter maybe no matter I don't know. Maybe you can say people have always. So that means from something about human nature maybe, or people have always uh, or people tend to complain. I don't know, but maybe you can talk about how people see life
Think that in the past,
in general,
in general.
not in the past, not right now. So in general, so how people have always seen life.
Okay. Okay. We used to think.
Okay, used like a
No. No, it's wrong. Erase that.
okay.
Okay, let me think. Sorry. I don't know how to start.
Okay. Maybe you can. I don't know. Since you have to have those three things, you could say something like, people tend to be complaining about obstacles and I don't know, overcoming obstacles in life, or something like if you ask someone how they feel about their life, or like I don't know, maybe nobody believes that life is easy for them, and then you say something like, but was it easier before or is it easy now? So you're kind of raising the question, and then you say, I think that it's easy now, or it's easier now than it was, or I think it was easier before. So first you have something in general about how people see life, whether it's easy or not. Then you ask the question whether it was easier before or is it easy now, and then you tell me, I think that this is the answer. So I don't know.
Okay. 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 People tend to have Can I talk here about, I mean, I want to say that people think that they have a lot of all obstacles that interferes to achieve their goals. But this is something that not just our generation, but all generations talk about.
Yes, sure. Or you can, maybe to summarize it, you could say what you said, which is true. So people tend to think that there are many obstacles interfering for meeting our goals. Maybe you could say maybe people have always thought this way, or no matter what generation you're part of, or no matter what generation people are part of, they tend to think this, or regardless of the generation or point in time they are in. I don't know, but yeah, we could do that. So what can you say?
Okay, people think they have a lot of obstacles interfering to achieve their goals.
Okay.
And this is something that no matter what generation they are, they 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 always complain.
Yes,
No,
complain about
that's
maybe.
complain
They always complain about, right?
about, yes. Okay, people didn't have.
Okay. This is
So
good though. Yeah,
here start the question, the possible question
exactly. So try to tell me. So
without
yeah,
a question.
if you want, it could be a question. Up to you. So just try to tell me what the problem that you're gonna try to solve is.
But here I don't have to mention our grandparents, neither the different generation.
You could, yes. I mean, you do have to, because that's the problem, right?
Uh-huh.
Yes, you can. You have to do that because that's the problem, right? Whether their life was easier than ours. So I don't know how you
Uh-huh.
can do it, but you can. Yeah, you can mention that.
Okay.
So maybe you could. We could always do something like this. So I don't know. Many people, or well, not people, but maybe um, elderly. I don't know. Yes, maybe the elderly uh, seem to think that because now we have access to different, and here you can talk about this, to different opportunities to succeed, like the use of technology and stuff, our life is easier than the ones they had. However, I think that their life was easier. So if that's your that's an interesting way of doing something like that. And it's actually something that we were planning to see. So an idea for an introduction is to state an argument and then refute it. So what is going to be your position here? What do you think? Is our life easier than the ones they had? What's going to be your position?
I think I'm in the middle.
Okay, that's interesting. But here, since we're doing an argumentative essay, you need to have a position.
One side, right?
Yes, exactly. You need to take one
Okay.
side.
Yes, I think that our generation is a lot of easier than the one that our grandparents had.
Okay, then you have to say the opposite. You can say something like, while I don't know, while young people tend to think that their life was easier, and then you can mention some reasons, some counter arguments. So maybe because they didn't, I don't know why, what arguments you could have against that, but maybe, I don't know, maybe because there weren't any pollution problems. Maybe you
Yeah.
can, their life was easier. I believe that our life is easier, so you can do that. State an argument and refute it if you want, or you can also ask a question and then answer it.
Oh my God. Yeah. I think that I want to start with a question, but I'm not sure. I want to put, have you ever heard from your grandparents when I was your age? Um,
Okay,
we,
yes, sure. Do you want to put that at the beginning or here?
um, yeah, there, here.
Okay. So,
Uh, no, I mean, I want to put something there and then the question, but I want to do this question. Have you ever heard from your grandparent uh, the words when I was your age?
okay.
Have you ever remembered the words when I was your age?
Maybe you could say something here. Right.
We didn't have the same opportunities to succeed like you had now.
Great. Good. That's right.
Yes.
Another way to do it, I'm thinking, since you have here, so this is something that no matter what generation they're in, they always complain about. And here you could say, grandparents will say to their grandsons things like, when I was your age, we didn't have the same opportunities to succeed. And grandsons will tend to their grandparents, I don't know, something different. So when you were my age, you didn't have well, you didn't have, in this case, it would be, you didn't have pollution problems. right? Maybe. Or you didn't have to go to college. So you're gonna show both sides, you know? So
I'm not
yeah.
understanding. So we're asking two questions. One that our grandparents said and other than we said.
No, I mean, well, you could. Yes, but I mean, it's up to you. So you can, I mean, you can do this. So you can state an argument and refute it, right? So you're here, you're saying, so grandparents tell us that life is easier now, but I think that life was easier then. So that's stating something and then refuting it. Or you can just give like tell me what the question is here. So you could say, so grandparents say that our life is easier, and grandsons said that their life was easier. So, and this is what I think. So you can ask the question and then answer it, or have an argument and refute it. The argument could be in the form of a question as well. So continue with what you were saying. So what can we write?
Yes, I'm agree about what you say about before the point of complaining about point put. What did you say? You said about grandparents and I don't remember.
So I said you could show both sides. Since you're saying no matter what generation, people always complain about life, you could say, so elderly people say that life is easier now because we have this. And young people say that life was easier then because they had, or they didn't have this, or they had this. And I believe that this is what's right. So you can show both sides, right? It's like saying some people say they like yogurt, and some people say they like milk more. I personally like this, right? So you can show both sides too, if you want, or you can just show one side and say most people say they like milk, but yogurt is better. So you can do both.
Mhm. Mm. Mm. Okay. Mm.
So what can you say?
Mm. I don't know. We need to put something there and then the question.
Okay.
Hmm.
Maybe uh So maybe we could say something like, I don't know, we hear this from relative, I don't know, we hear, we always complain about.
Mm,
Maybe you could say something like, we can see this
in every family meeting.
yeah, in every family meeting. Or yeah, maybe we can see this in every type of setting from, or in, yeah, maybe just in every family meeting. Or maybe we can see this in everyday settings, even in family meetings. So have you ever heard your parents the words when I was your age?
Okay. We can see this in every family meeting.
Here, maybe, yeah. Okay, just have you ever heard of me? Okay. Okay, that's nice. So how would you now give your thesis statement? So what do you think?
I need to put here, I think.
I'm sorry, come again? You cut off.
Think.
I think.
Here.
Try not to use I think, but yes, you need to tell me what you think.
Okay, not using I think.
You know, there are two ways. You can use a different phrase like I believe, the way I see it, in my opinion, personally, if you ask me, whatever. Or you can state it as a fact. So not like something you think, but something that is that way, like the way that this author did, right? If you see, like if you think about this, he's not saying I think that this concern, well, understandable, is misguided. So he's saying it like it's a fact. It is misguided, and that's it. So you can do that, or you can tell it as if it were your opinion. You know what I mean? So here, this author is not saying, I think that the negatives of internet are outweighed by the benefits. He's just saying it like if it's a fact.
Yes, this concern, while understandable, is misguided.
Right? So you could do it two ways. You can do it like if it were your opinion, or like if it were a fact that everybody needs to know.
I want to do like a fact.
Okay, so how would you say?
The same opportunity. Yes. Can I put here nowadays?
Yeah, sure.
Nowadays. To answer these questions, I have to, I mean, I'm not agree with that question. Oh yeah, I think that I'm agree. I agree.
So you agree that they didn't have the same opportunities?
Yes.
Okay. Well, in that case, you can do it. You can say nowadays, life is easier, right? In other words, paraphrasing it. But it would be, I don't know, it wouldn't sound as good as if you did the opposite. So nowadays, so you could say, so all people think that their life was more difficult, but I think that it wasn't. So it's easier to say, to do it that way, because if you agree, then it's, I don't know. Yeah, you could say, now, how would you say it? What would you say?
Well, I was about to say, nowadays we had.
It will be, you cannot repeat it, right? Nowadays, we have the same opportunities, or we have more opportunities.
Nowadays.
You know, the usual way of refuting it would be saying, so here, before the question, you could say, so we can see, well, they always complain about. So you could say, it is undeniable that, I don't know, life 100, or maybe it is undeniable that huge problems, maybe not huge, but another word, so huge problems have been threatening, uh, threatening our current lives, or something like that, or our current world, I don't know. So you could say such as pollution. Okay, this is wrong. So maybe you can mention, so we have pollution, we have environmental problems, and maybe something else, I don't know. Wars, I don't know if we will have wars, but maybe poverty, whatever. So you mentioned some problems that we have right now, and then you say, nevertheless, and then you don't say, I still think, maybe you could say, nevertheless, life now is a lot easier than before. So, you can say, it's undeniable that right now we have a lot of problems, but I still think that it's easier, right? So you're stating something and then opposing that idea. So, or I still think. So I don't know, some ideas, some thoughts. Because how would you do this? What would you say here?
Okay. Yes, I wanted to do something like you did, like you write, but I wanted to mention education and the develop of technology, because you're summarizing here.
I'm sorry?
You're summarizing.
Not really, because these are not going to be your reasons, right? Your reasons are going to be the opposite. You're going to say we have education, we have technology, we have access to this or that. So these are the counter arguments, not the arguments. You're not going to mention this in your essay. So here will be like, I still think that. Or even if we need to address. Okay, so something like this, right? So even though we still need to address these issues, our generation has to face far less obstacles than the ones previous. I don't know, previous. Yeah, generations.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that. So what would you say?
Using nowadays.
Yes.
Nowadays. Probably not using nowadays.
Okay. What can you use?
Mm. Okay. Probably in our current lives.
Okay.
When friend.
One friend?
When friend. Like.
How so?
Enfrentamos. We.
Okay, we face.
Yeah, we face. Many problems. Such as climate change.
Okay.
Mm, and more problems. No. So just and so just climate change and okay. Inner core eyes with face brown climate change. Mm, no,
What could you say?
the face process climate change. Demand to learn.
Come again?
Demand. I mean, like when something or someone demands you to learn.
Demands you to like.
Like
I don't get
they
it. Like.
know that someone that the time
Mm-hmm.
demands you to learn things that you don't know, you didn't know.
Okay. All right. So maybe you could say the need to. The need to. No, I'm sorry.
No, to actualize, to no
I don't know. No update.
update.
Mm, the need
No,
to. Yeah. Yeah. That's right. There's a need to like too much competition, right? Maybe climate
yes.
change and the need to. Um, I don't know what you could say.
How can I say that? We face many problems of the climate
Maybe
change.
they need to stand out, like to be better or different or like no more. I don't know.
Could be, but I'm not sure. This, yeah, could be the need to stand out.
Okay, let's just use it for now. So they need to stand out.
Okay, need to stand out. Uh, all these obstacles not only happen in this generation, but in fact, no. In fact,
Without the but?
yeah, without a but.
Okay.
In fact, in fact, it is something that previous generations had had passed.
Had gone through, maybe?
Oh yeah, yes.
Probably have, right? Have gone.
Yes, have gone. Yeah, I think this is a statement.
Okay.
And then the summarizing.
Yes.
Uh, can I see how the other introduction start, the summarize part?
Yes.
Is the one that is in gray?
Yes, exactly. So he says, outweighed its critical benefits as a uniquely comprehensive and accessible information source, a means of exposure to an engagement with different perspectives.
Okay. Starting,
Starting,
yes, with the technology develop.
okay.
Could we, can we use here parentheses that can I put with technology developed the most important point in this century? Could we? No, yes.
Yeah, maybe the most important point.
The most important fact. No, the
Fact.
most important. Mm, I don't know what word. Mm, starting with the technology development, the most important. The most
Maybe you could say, I don't know, the highlight of the century, or
yes.
right, or maybe the most important invention. I don't know.
I don't know if technology is invention.
Is it a discovery? It's not a discovery, is it?
No, but invention, I think, is something that is inside technology. But it's
So
not.
what do you mean?
No, I'm not sure.
Invention. No. Yeah, we don't know, right? It's kind of hard to explain what technology is. I mean, yeah, technology development, right? We're
But
not really talking about, yes, you're right. So you're right. Yeah. I'm thinking about the internet, but it's technology development.
yes,
So the most important, yeah, maybe you could say the highlight of this century.
yes, could be the highlight in this century.
Right?
Education change and ideology and ideology.
Ideology. What?
I mean,
Maybe, maybe you could say education improvements and ideology changes.
ideology changes. Yeah.
And education improvements. Okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's your intro. Wow. So nice. People think they have a lot of obstacles interfering when achieving their goals. This is something no matter that what generation they're in, they always complain about. We can see this in every family meeting. Have you ever heard from your grandparents the words, when I was your age, we didn't have the same opportunities to succeed like you have now? In our current lives, we face many problems such as climate change and the need to stand out. All of these obstacles not only happen in this generation, in fact, it is something that previous generations have gone through. Starting, okay.
No, here is something wrong.
Yeah. So this is what, I mean, these are the improvements. I mean, these are the benefits of our generation, right? Not like the things that the previous generations have gone through.
In fact, this is something that previous generation have gone through, haven't through. Yes, it's okay, but how can I start the summarized part?
Maybe you could say it's something that previous generations have gone through. And then you can say the difference is that our current generation, I don't know, has more tools to deal with these problems. And then you could say start with technology development and stuff, you know?
Our generations.
Our generation?
Now, here I can use nowadays.
Yeah, exactly.
Nowadays, our generations. Has more tools to face those problems, to face those obstacles, probably.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay,
Start
there
with
you go.
development.
So I like what you did. So you're saying, all right, so it's true that we are facing many problems, but it's also true that these problems were something that they also faced. Now, the difference is that we have more tools to face these obstacles, such as all of this, which means that it is easier for us. So that's good. Okay, I like the structure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, nice. Maybe here I would say something like, however, or nevertheless, right? Because you're saying it's something that they also went through, but
Yeah.
the difference is that we have more tools, you know?
Yes, we can use however to or nevertheless.
Okay, nice. So well done. I think the structure is pretty great. So you have the hook or the, yeah, like the importance of the matter, the context.
Can we put colors in all parts, please?
Yes, of course. Okay, so people think they have a lot of box to pull, this is something. Okay.
So yes.
So I think that this would be
The hook.
the hook and the context as well, right? So you're talking about the topic in general.
Mm-hmm.
Now this here is sort of the problem, right? Although this is an interesting thing. So okay, let's mark it differently. So that's also kind of like the hook, because it's a catchy phrase, is something that's catching the reader's attention as well. And this is the problem. So we face problems, they face problems. So which one is worse? And this is your thesis statement here. Maybe, you know, color. And this here is the summary. So nice. Like, thank you.
Was what?
A good intro. Sorry?
Blue.
Lou is the problem. If you think about this, here you're kind of paraphrasing the question, right? You're saying, so, we have problems, they had problems. So which is worse? And then you're saying, our generation has more tools, therefore it's easier for us.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes.
And the pink.
The pink part is, I don't know, it's like an example, but it's also part of the hook. I would say maybe this is the context and this is the hook. The yellow part, the context, and the violet part, the hook.
Mm-hmm. Oh. Okay, the pink is the hook. And the gray is the
So,
summarize. Mm-hmm. Okay. Wow, that's hard.
yeah. It is because it's sort of subjective, right? You don't really know where it starts, where it ends, each part. You just need to make it also sound good. It's not like math, right? Where you have like very steps. So yeah, it is more subjective. But I think you did a great job. I mean, in terms of structure, it's perfect. There are obviously some things that we can improve, and that's something that we're also gonna see later, like maybe grammar points to use or phrases to use, or maybe things that we can try not to use or try to use. So that's what we're gonna see at the end.
Okay. I don't want you to see my essay.
Don't worry about it. It's okay. It's not content. I'm just gonna be looking at those punctuation marks, transitions, and linking words, and that's it.
I think I wrote the essay.
What do you mean?
I mean that I think that I I did a great job in
Okay.
the last essay, but when I did this introduction, only the introduction, I was thinking, oh my God, what did I write?
So yeah, that may happen. And we're missing, the body paragraphs and the conclusion.
Mm,
So it's
okay.
a long way road.
Okay.
Do you have any questions about the intro though? You okay?
Mm, I'm okay.
Okay.
It's not something that I have a question. It's because I don't. It's not that I don't understand, but it's hard for me to put in order all these
Yeah.
parts.
The thing is that they don't even have to be in order, you could change the order of this. This is just the elements that they need to have, but you could change them.
The
So you could,
order can make me my head crazy because I don't know what to go first, next.
yes, that's true. But the order can change. You can start with this, for example. You could say the way you were doing it, like nowadays people have opportunities to succeed, like the use of technology, education and stuff. And then you can say as a result, and then you go with your what's this, with your position, right, with the thesis statement. So you say as a result, we can say or that our generation has more tools to face the obstacles that, and then you can go with the context. So that the order could change. Usually this is the most common order, but it could change.
Can you share this document, please?
Yeah, sure. I'm gonna share.
Sorry for the time. I know that.
Oh no, don't worry. That's okay. So I'm sending you the. Okay. All right then. So okay. I'm gonna tomorrow we'll be looking at the body, hopefully the conclusion too.
Mhm.
And yes, tomorrow I'll assign you the second essay, not today. So,
Okay.
so I'm sending the survey now.
Mhm. Okay.
Okay, okay, so
Thank you so
thank you so
much.
much. See ya tomorrow. See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Or morning. This time, yeah, it's Saturday.
Yes.
Finally.
Yes. Finally, but 7:30. Okay.
You're welcome.
Bye
Bye
Thank you.
bye. Have a nice night.
Tomorrow.